Hi guys, so now I'm gonna talk about a bit more about random class. So in the random class, right, we think that it's actually very random. Actually, that's what I actually first thought. Uh, but random class is not truly random. It's something we call pseudo random. So pseudo random. So what is pseudo random? It's something like it looks random, but it's not exactly random. Why? I mean, think about it. Like, do you think your computer can think? No. It can execute the instruction that you give, but if you tell the computer, uh, think about numbers and just give me something that's popping out in your from your mind. So it's not a human, so it cannot think about a number just randomly. So what's actually happening in the random class? So what's happening in the random class is it's kind of using an algorithm to generate this random number. So this algorithm, every time that you tell next int or next boolean, next double, anything, it's actually looking at your system clock and actually it's clock system okay. Whatever it is, but it will look at the current time and then it will use that as a parameter or a value like a variable and generate a number for you in the range that you gave. um, Let me give you a simple example. This is not how it works, but let's say um, let's say this is the range that you gave and you're asking the computer or the random class, give me a random number between in this range. So what the class file to do, it will look at the time and then from the time it will create a seed number, a seed. So let's say the time is 11:25 and 25 seconds in the morning. Let's say the seed is the the total of this number, but it will take the last digit. So let's say this is 7 plus 7 is 14, 14, 14, 15, 16. So the total is 16 and it will take the last digit, which is 6. So now the seed is 6. So um now what it will do is, I mean, it's not exactly what it will do. That's an actually uh, a specific algorithm that the class file will use. But let's say we create our own algorithm. Let's say we from the time we create this seed, which is 6, and from the 6 we can create a formula to find a value from this range. So what do I mean by that? Let's say I take 6 divided by 10 and you will get a percentage, right? And then you times with 5 and then you will get a value. It might be in a decimal point and then you just plot it or you can just round it up and then you will get a number. So it looks random because you're taking the time, the current time, and since the current time constantly changing, it doesn't look like you can predict the number. But actually, if you know the algorithm by just looking at the time, you already know what number is going to pop up. So it's not completely random because obviously the computer cannot think. So that's what actually happening in the random class file. So another thing I didn't teach in the previous video is actually you can pass a seed number. So here is where you pass the seed number. So if you didn't pass a seed number, it will look at the current time and take it as a seed number. But let's say I pass 12. If I pass 12, the seed is constant. It's constant and it never changes. So if I try to print a random integer, right? Next int. If I try to run this, let's say this is my first number. If I try to run again, I will get the exact number again and again and again and again. Why? Because the seed number didn't change. If you didn't pass anything, the seed number would have changed because it's taking the current time, and current time, obviously time didn't freeze, right? So the time is constantly changing. So if you manually gave a feed value a seed, it will never change. So the number generated also will be constant. It never changes. So that's all. I like to explain a bit more about random class, and also an additional info. Let's say you need to create a security system. Let's say there's a transaction going on between two people, or let's say there's transactions happening between a bank and the buyer, or whoever the user. So the bank and the user, actually let me open my PowerPoint. So let's see, there's a bank and there's a user, and there's a lot of transactions happening between them. So a transaction happening between them. So in every transaction there's a unique ID. By the way, this is not exactly what happens, but let's see, there's a unique ID, and in this transaction, to remain secure, to increase the security, this unique ID need to be unique. Like every transaction has to be a unique one, so it must be randomly generated. And if a hacker uh, get to predict what the unique ID is, then he can hack the transaction. So if you use random class in these cases, obviously um, the hacker gonna hack you. You cannot use random class in this because it's not completely random, it's pseudo random. So there are a lot of ways how cyber security engineers get solve these security measurement problems where you need to create a unique sequence. And one of it, um, I saw this in the internet. I'm not sure that's what really happens, but one of the company actually create this. By the way, you will never know how they actually create these random numbers, because if the hackers knows this, then they can predict what's the numbers. So but one company did reveal, and what they did was they create not create they used a lava lamp. And if you see in a lava lamp, there will be a lot of bubbles just going up and going down, going up, and some will be going down. And what they did, they use a camera to watch this lava lamp. And whenever they had to create this unique ID, they will use the movement of this bubble, which is supposed to be random, right? I mean, actually, nothing is random in this world. Everything just follows the laws of physics. But predicting the movement of this bubble is hard. Or predicting where the bubbles gonna be is hard too, just by looking at the lava lamp. So they use this as an advantage, and they look at this movement of these bubbles, and they will create the number. And this is one of the way how they create unique IDs, or whenever they need to create this unique sequence for security purposes. So but if you're creating a board game or anything, using random class is fine, so don't worry about that. And that's all. Thank you.